The 1 o'clock news will be starting in 5 minutes over on BBC1. Here on 2 in half an hour, we'll join Postman Pat delivering letters on ice. That's after we've been to Chichester in Sussex with Alec Clifton-Taylor for the first in a series of visits to 6 English towns. We've a double bill of cartoon comedy on 2 tomorrow afternoon with Woody Woodpecker at 12:20 and Bugs Bunny in King Arthur's Court at 12:30. The 1 o'clock news starts in 5 minutes over on BBC1. Here on 2 now, we visit the second of 6 English towns. Today it's Richmond in North Yorkshire. This series was first shown in 1978.
Tomorrow morning on BBC1, Simon Parkin launches into a new children's sequence for the Easter holidays with the springtime title, Now It's Daffs. And Popeye is first on the bill. That's tomorrow morning just after 9 o'clock. In 5 minutes on BBC1, there's the 1 o'clock news. Here on 2 in half an hour, we have another story with Charlie Chalk. And that's after we visit Tewkesbury, today's location in the series first shown in 1978 on 6 English towns.
Tomorrow morning on BBC1, Children's BBC makes an early start when Simon Parkin brings another package of holiday entertainment in Now It's Daffs, beginning with Raccoons at 7:10. The 1 o'clock news will be starting in just under 5 minutes on BBC1. Here on 2 in half an hour, we're on the seesaw with Hokey Cokey. First on 2, another in the series on 6 English towns, first shown in 1978.
Viewers might like to know that since that programme was first transmitted, the creeper from the former grammar school has been removed. Tomorrow's programme at this time will look at Ludlow in Shropshire, and you may be interested to know that a BBC video accompanying this series is available. In about 5 minutes, Jane returns to Ramsay Street to issue an ultimatum to Charlene. That's Neighbours for you on BBC1. Here on 2 in 5 minutes, Floella Benjamin looks at parties and festivals in What's Inside. First, King Rollo.
BBC1 now. Andy Crane has Children's BBC firmly underway. Already there's a bit of a flap in Pigeon Street. Here on 2, in just over 5 minutes, David Lomax concludes the story of the forgotten pilots of World War II. Now it's time for the latest news from Lisa Davidson.
From the newsroom, the main stories. A preliminary report on the M1 air crash has confirmed that there was no fault in the engine which the pilot shut down. And the investigators say the crew were trying to restart it when the plane hit the motorway.
The disaster began when a broken fan blade in the left-hand engine caused friction and smoke was sucked into the cockpit. The captain and first officer diagnosed vibration and smoke as a fire in the right-hand engine, which they switched off. As the plane's wheels and flaps were lowered, power was increased in the faulty engine, which caught fire just 17 seconds before the crash. The investigators say no fault has been found in the plane's wiring or in the engine vibration indicators, which are displayed in the cockpit on a TV screen.
The Northern Ireland Secretary has called on the whole community of Ulster to stand together in the fight against terrorism. And Cecil Walker, the Unionist MP for North Belfast, has said the security forces should be allowed to do whatever's necessary to end the violence. The latest victim in an escalating campaign of tit-for-tat killing was a 63-year-old Roman Catholic, David Braniff.
This is a significant development, in my opinion, because we find now that there's a very, very sophisticated gang of so-called loyalist killers operating. Now, this is rather new, and it's obvious that they're well-trained, well-armed, and are prepared to carry out their vile deeds in a tit-for-tat manner against any Catholic when a Protestant is murdered.
In the Commons, another opposition call for a debate on the government's handling of security warnings before the Lockerbie disaster has been turned down. For Labour, Dale Campbell-Savers described the behaviour of the Transport Secretary Paul Channon as outrageous. A senior Guernsey politician has criticised the way the French Navy is handling the search for a container of toxic chemicals lost when a cargo ship sank near the island. Roger Berry says he doesn't think they're doing enough to salvage the drum. Some containers have already been recovered. There could be widespread damage to fish life if the 6 tons of pesticide leaks. The American ambassador in El Salvador says he believes yesterday's presidential election there was free, despite the widespread violence. A right-wing candidate, Alfredo Cristiani, is claiming victory.
Alfredo Cristiani is a businessman and relative newcomer to politics. He speaks moderately in public on the need for dialogue with the guerrillas. But his party is also